Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have it all figured out? They are building lives they love, while others feel like they are just spinning their wheels, stuck in the exact same place year after year. Is it luck? Is it some secret talent? Is it having the perfect connections? No, it is none of those things. The real difference is something quiet, something simple, and something most people completely ignore. It is daily discipline. You see, life does not change because of one giant magical moment. It changes because of the small, boring, repetitive actions you take every single day. The person who gets out of bed when it is cold and they want to sleep, that person is winning. The person who chooses to work on their dreams when they would rather be scrolling through their phone, that person is building an unstoppable life. While the rest of the world is waiting for the perfect mood or a spark of motivation to strike, the disciplined person is already miles ahead. Most people think discipline is a cage. They think it stops them from having fun or being free. But the truth is actually the opposite. Discipline is true freedom. It frees you from the heavy weight of regret. It frees you from the cycle of laziness. Without discipline, your life is just a series of accidents. You wake up late, you lose focus, you chase every distraction that comes your way, and at the end of the day, you wonder where all your time went. But when you bring discipline into your routine, your life finally takes shape. Your mind gets sharper, your actions become meaningful, and slowly, your entire world begins to shift. In today's video, we are going to break down the power of daily discipline. We are not going to make it complicated or use fancy words. We are going to keep it simple and clear so you can actually use these ideas to build a better future. If you really get these principles, discipline will stop feeling like a punishment and start feeling like your greatest superpower. So listen closely, because what you are about to learn can change the way you see your potential. And while you are at it, you will also be leveling up your English naturally. If you want to grow your mindset and your language skills at the same time, make sure to follow along and join this journey with us. Lesson 1. The myth of motivation. Let us get one thing straight. If you look at the people who are actually winning in life, you will notice a pattern. They are not always the smartest person in the room. They are not always the luckiest, and they certainly are not always the most naturally gifted. So what is their secret sauce? It is one single powerful trait. They are highly disciplined. Think about the world around you. Every great achievement you see, a successful business, a top-tier athlete winning gold, a brilliant scientist making a breakthrough, was not built in a single day. It was not built by waiting for a perfect feeling or waiting for inspiration to knock on the door. It was built on the back of daily discipline. You see, motivation is a fickle friend. It is purely emotional. Some days you wake up feeling like you can conquer the world, and other days you wake up feeling like you want to hide under the covers. If you only move when you feel like it, you will never get anywhere. Consider a famous athlete like David, a star sprinter. People love to talk about his raw speed and his natural talent. But what they do not see is the discipline behind the scenes. While everyone else was sleeping or taking it easy, David was out on the track, running until his lungs burned. He practiced the same start, the same stride, and the same finish over and over again. He did not do it because it was fun. He did not do it because he was always in the mood. He did it because he knew that greatness is not a one-time event. Greatness is the result of thousands of tiny, disciplined actions piled on top of each other. The truth is, motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Motivation is a mood, but discipline is a choice. A disciplined person does not ask, "Do I feel like doing this today?" They simply look at their plan and say, "This needs to be done, so I am going to do it." While others are waiting for the stars to align, disciplined people are out there building their own path. They are waking up early, they are putting in the work, and they are staying consistent when it gets tough. That is why they slowly pull ahead of the crowd. They are not just dreamers, they are builders. And that is the biggest difference between those who stay stuck and those who truly transform their lives. Lesson 2. The biology of discipline. Now, here is something that will change how you look at your daily habits. Discipline is not just a mental game. It is actually a scientific process. Your brain is a masterpiece of design, and it is constantly rewiring itself based on what you do over and over again. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. In simple terms, it means your brain creates stronger connections for every action you repeat. Think of it like a path through a thick, wild forest. The first time you try to walk through that forest, the ground is rough, branches are in your way, and you have to struggle to push forward. It feels hard because there is no clear path yet. That is exactly how it feels when you try to start a new habit, like waking up at dawn or sitting down to study a new language. Your brain resists because it loves comfort. It prefers the easy, familiar road of scrolling through social media or taking a nap. But here is the magic. The more you walk that same path every single day, the more the ground clears. The branches move out of the way. The path becomes smooth, wide, and easy to follow. Every time you choose to practice, even when you do not feel like it, you are clearing that path in your brain. At first, it takes a lot of willpower, but eventually, the action becomes automatic. What once felt like a painful chore starts to feel like your new normal. You are literally training your brain to become the brain of a disciplined person. You are moving away from the person who procrastinates and moving toward the person who builds. This is why daily discipline is so powerful. It is not just about finishing one task today. It is about preparing your brain for the person you want to be tomorrow. Every small victory, every time you choose effort over laziness, you are strengthening your mental muscles. Your brain is adapting, growing, and becoming sharper. It is learning that you are someone who acts, someone who moves forward, and someone who gets things done. And once this mental path is set, your life begins to move in a totally different direction. You stop being a slave to your impulses and start becoming the master of your own mind. That is the science of success. Lesson 3. The power of writing down your goals. You might be wondering why you still feel stuck even though you have big dreams. The truth is, most people stay in the same place not because they lack the drive, but because they lack the clarity. They say things like, "I want to be successful," or "I want to get better at life." But those are just vague wishes. They are not goals. This is where the magic of writing things down comes in. When you keep your goals locked inside your head, they are like smoke. They float around, they change shape, and they can disappear the moment you get distracted. But the second you take a pen and put those dreams on paper, everything changes. It becomes real. It becomes something you can look at, something you can measure, and something you can hold yourself accountable to. Imagine a ship sailing in the middle of the ocean without a destination. No matter how strong the wind is, that ship is just going to drift in circles. That is how many people live. They are busy, they are moving, but they are not actually getting anywhere. When you write down your goals, you are giving your life a destination. You are telling your brain exactly where you want to go. Think about two students. Student A says, "I want to improve my English." Student B writes down, "I will practice speaking for 20 minutes every morning and read 10 pages of a book every night for the next 6 months." Do you see the difference? Student A has a wish, but student B has a roadmap. Student B has something to follow every single day. Writing your goals down also acts as a mirror. It forces you to be honest with yourself. When you see your goals on paper, you cannot hide from them. They quietly ask you, are you actually serious about this, or are you just playing around? That is a powerful feeling. It stops you from making excuses and starts pushing you to take action. So do not just carry your dreams in your feelings. Get them out of your head and onto a page. Write down the habits you need to build and the person you want to become. Read those goals every morning to guide your energy, and read them every night to check your progress. When you move your dreams from your mind to the paper, you are no longer just a dreamer. You are a builder. And builders are the ones who change their lives. Lesson 4. The art of setting priorities. Let us talk about a common lie we tell ourselves. I just need more time. We act like there is some secret stash of extra hours that successful people have found, but that is simply not true. Everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. The real problem is not a lack of time, it is a lack of priority. Discipline is the filter that helps you decide what actually matters, because if you try to treat everything as equally important, you will end up feeling overwhelmed and stuck. Think about it like this. Imagine holding a magnifying glass under the hot sun. If you just let the light scatter, it does nothing. But the moment you hold that glass steady and focus the light on one single point, it creates fire. Your energy works the same way. When you try to do everything at once, answering every message, chasing every distraction, and multitasking until you are drained, your energy is scattered. You are busy, sure, but you are not getting anywhere. A disciplined person does not just ask, "What should I do today?" They ask a much deeper question. What is the one thing that matters most today? This is the core of your progress. Some tasks are urgent but meaningless. Others are easy and feel good, but they do not move the needle on your life. True discipline is having the courage to ignore the noise and focus on the hard, uncomfortable work that actually changes your future. Consider the story of Sam, who wanted to build a better life. Every morning, he started with a list of big dreams, but then he would check his phone, get lost in random videos, and spend hours on tiny, unimportant chores just to feel productive. By the time the sun went down, he was exhausted, yet nothing had really changed. Now compare that to Sarah. Sarah wakes up and asks herself one simple thing. What is the most important move I can make right now to get closer to my goal? She does that first, before the world gets loud. After a few months, Sarah is miles ahead, not because she is smarter, but because she respects her own priorities. If you want to rise above the crowd, you have to stop saying yes to everything. You have to stop letting the smallest things steal your biggest possibilities. Discipline is not about being a robot. It is about being intentional. It is about choosing what deserves your best hours and protecting that time at all costs. When you learn to put the right things first, you stop being a passenger in your own life and start being the driver. Your future is not shaped by what you talk about. It is shaped by what you repeatedly put first every single day. Choose carefully. Lesson 5. The compound effect of daily discipline. Most of us want big results, big success, and big changes in our lives. We want to wake up one morning and suddenly be a different person. But the secret that most people miss is that life-changing results are rarely born from one massive heroic effort. They are built through small, quiet actions repeated over a long time. This is what we call the compound effect. In the moment, a single disciplined action feels tiny. Reading 10 pages of a book, saving a few dollars, or practicing your English for 20 minutes. These things don't look like much. In fact, on a bad day, they might feel completely useless. But here is the catch. You are judging your actions by what you see today, while disciplined people judge their actions by what they will become in the future. That is the difference between an amateur and a pro. Think about water dripping onto a solid rock. If you watch for 1 minute, you see nothing. 1 drop is weak. 2 drops are weak. Even after a month, the rock looks exactly the same. it feels like you are wasting your time. But if you keep that rhythm going, year after year, something incredible happens. The rock breaks. It changes shape. It gives way. That is exactly how your life works. Your bad habits, your fear, and your laziness might feel like a solid rock right now, but they are not stronger than the power of repeated, consistent action. The world loves to celebrate the final result. People will look at your success and call it luck or talent, but they never see the boring, invisible steps you took to get there. They don't see the early mornings, the days when you felt like quitting, or the thousands of times you chose to focus instead of scrolling. They only see the finished product. This is why so many people quit too early. They start something new, they put in a little effort for a few days, and when they don't see an instant reward, they give up. That is a tragedy, because they are walking away right before the magic happens. You have to trust the process. Even when the outside world looks the same, your internal world is changing. You are building roots. You are building strength. You are building an identity that will eventually turn into a reality. So don't look for the big, dramatic explosion. Look for the small, disciplined win you can claim today. Repeat it tomorrow. Repeat it the day after, because when you stack enough of these small wins together, your future will have no choice but to change. Lesson 6. The benefits of planning. You might think that planning is just for rigid, boring people who want to control every single second of their day. But the truth is, if you do not have a plan, you are living in reaction mode. You wake up, check your phone, and suddenly you are just responding to whatever message, email, or distraction hits you first. That is not living. That is drifting. And a drifting life will never get you to where you want to go. Planning is actually a form of self-respect. It is your way of saying that your time is valuable. When you take a few minutes to map out your day, you are giving your energy a clear direction. Think about it. Every morning, you wake up with a limited tank of mental energy. If you waste that energy deciding what to do next, or getting pulled in 5 different directions by distractions, you will be completely drained by lunchtime. But when you plan, you protect that energy. You know exactly what matters, so you can pour your focus into the tasks that actually move the needle. Let us look at the example of Arthur, a man who transformed his life by simply using a notebook. Every night, before he went to bed, he would write down the 3 most important things he needed to finish the next day. In the morning, he did not have to guess or stress. He just started working. He did not let the chaos of the world dictate his schedule. Because he had a plan, he felt less stressed and more in control. He stopped carrying a million thoughts in his head, which gave him the mental space to think deeply and produce better work. Planning also acts as an honest mirror. When you write down your schedule, you have to face the truth about how you spend your hours. If you say you want to get healthy or learn a new skill, but you cannot find a spot for it in your daily plan, then you are just lying to yourself. Planning forces you to align your actions with your values. It turns your big, vague dreams into concrete daily steps. You do not need a complex system or expensive apps to do this. Keep it simple. Just know what you need to do, when you are going to do it, and why it matters. By doing this, you are not being a control freak. You are being a leader. You are taking the steering wheel of your own life. When you plan, you stop being the victim of the day and start being the creator of your future. It is a quiet, simple act, but it is one of the most powerful ways to build a life of purpose. Lesson 7. Mastering your inner voice. Before you ever lose control in the real world, you usually lose the battle inside your own head. Think about it. Before you decide to quit a project, or before you waste 3 hours scrolling through your phone, there is a small conversation happening in your mind. That voice can be your best friend or your worst enemy. If you do not learn to master your thoughts, they will end up mastering you. Many people think discipline is just about what you do with your body, but the real work happens in your mind. If your thoughts are messy, your life will be messy. If you spend your day listening to fear, self-doubt, or the voice that says, "I will just start tomorrow," then your discipline is doomed before you even begin. You have to treat your mind like a command center. You need to watch your thoughts, challenge them, and take charge of them. Imagine you sit down to work and your mind immediately whispers, "This is too hard, you should take a break." Most people just listen to that voice and walk away, but a disciplined person knows better. They realize that just because a thought pops into their head does not mean it is the truth. That thought might just be fear speaking, or it might be old habits trying to keep you in your comfort zone. You have to be able to step back and say, "I hear you, but I am not going to obey you." This is exactly how you train your brain. If you keep giving in to every lazy thought, those thoughts get louder and stronger. But if you repeatedly choose to act on truth, courage, and responsibility, those voices of power begin to grow. You are not here to be a servant to every random feeling that passes through your brain. You are here to be the master of your inner world. When you can focus even when your mind wants to wander, and when you can keep going even when your mind wants to complain, you have reached a new level of strength. Also, be very careful about what you feed your mind every day. If you fill your head with noise, negativity, and shallow entertainment, your thinking will become heavy and weak. But if you feed your mind with wisdom, learning, and high-level ideas, your inner life will become sharp and resilient. Mental discipline is a constant practice. It is about catching yourself when you start to spiral and refusing to let one bad mood turn into a broken routine. Your life will always move in the direction of your dominant thoughts. If you think like someone who is defeated, you will act like it. But if you think like a builder, you will rise to the challenge every single time. So start questioning your thoughts today. Train them to support your future, not sabotage it. That power is yours to take, one thought at a time. Lesson 8. The power of subtraction. We often think that becoming more disciplined means adding more things to our to-do list. We think we need to wake up earlier, work longer hours, and learn 5 new skills at once. But here is a hard truth. Sometimes you are stuck not because you are doing too little, but because you are doing way too much of the wrong stuff. Real discipline is just as much about what you stop doing as it is about what you start. Think of your life like a bucket you are trying to fill with water. If that bucket has holes in the bottom, it does not matter how much water you pour in. It will all just leak out. Those holes are your bad habits, the endless scrolling, the constant distraction, the procrastination, and the time you give to things that simply do not matter. You are pouring your energy into a bucket that can never stay full. The most powerful move you can make today might not be starting a new project. It might be deciding to kill off a bad habit that is draining your life. When you stop feeding the things that weaken you, you suddenly create space for the things that actually build you. That is the essence of discipline. It is the act of cutting away the dead weight. Ask yourself, what is one thing I am doing every day that is keeping me from where I want to be? Is it the way you start your morning? Is it the people you hang around with who drain your focus? Is it the way you handle stress by running toward comfort instead of facing the work? Every time you say no to a distraction, you are winning. Every time you remove a bad habit, you are gaining back your power. Stop trying to be a superhero who does everything. Be a minimalist of your own focus. Protect your energy like it is the most expensive thing you own, because it is. When you strip away the noise and the useless activities, you will find that you already have enough time and enough talent to build something great. You just need to clear the path. So look at your day and be honest. What needs to go? What are you holding on to that is holding you back? Cut it loose. That is how you clear the way for your real potential to grow. Lesson 9. Developing a long-term mindset. One of the biggest traps you can fall into is expecting instant results. We live in a world of fast food, fast internet, and fast gratification. Naturally, we start to think that success should be just as quick. We want to see a total life transformation in a matter of days. But real, lasting success does not work that way. It happens slowly, and then all at once. Disciplined people think differently. They have a long-term mindset. They understand that a great life is not a sprint, it is a marathon. Think about a farmer. When he plants a seed in the ground, he does not go out the very next morning and panic because he does not see a giant tree. He knows how nature works. He knows about seasons. He knows that he has to be patient and keep watering that seed, even when nothing is visible above the soil. Your life is exactly the same. Every time you choose to study, every time you work on your health, and every time you stay focused on your goals, you are planting a seed. At first, it looks like nothing is happening. You might feel like you are working for nothing, but if you stay consistent, those seeds will take root. They will grow into something strong and powerful. So stop asking, why haven't I changed yet after 1 week? That is the wrong question. Instead, start asking yourself, who will I become if I stay this disciplined for the next 5 years? That shift in perspective changes everything. When you look at the big picture, you stop being bothered by the small struggles of today. You stop looking for quick fixes and start looking for long-term growth. This is the beauty of a long-term mindset. It keeps you calm when things are slow. It keeps you moving when you do not see immediate rewards. You learn to trust the process because you know that what you are building is bigger than today. You are not just working for a paycheck or a quick win. You are building a legacy. You are crafting the person you are meant to be. Stay the course, keep planting your seeds, and have faith that the harvest is coming. The growth you are looking for is happening, even if you cannot see it just yet. Lesson 10. Make discipline your identity. At the end of the day, the highest level of discipline isn't about what you force yourself to do. It's about who you become. Most people walk around saying, I'm trying to be more disciplined, but that's just a temporary mindset. A truly disciplined person doesn't try, they simply are. They have shifted their identity. They've decided that being a person who keeps their promises and shows up for their dreams is just who they are. Think about it. We all act according to the story we tell ourselves about ourselves. If you believe you're lazy, you'll keep finding ways to be lazy. If you believe you're inconsistent, you'll keep giving yourself an out whenever things get tough. But when you start acting like the person you want to be, when you finish what you start, when you keep your word, when you prioritize your growth, each of those small actions becomes proof. It becomes evidence that you've changed. You stop needing motivation because your character is doing the heavy lifting for you. You don't need to flip your whole life upside down in one giant move. You just need to win the day. Then you win it again tomorrow. Then you do it once more. That is how ordinary people become extraordinary. That is how the people who once felt confused and stuck turn into the people who lead and build. So stop looking for some massive sign or a stroke of magic. The magic is in the repetition. The magic is in the choice to be someone who doesn't quit. Ask yourself, what is that one small, disciplined thing I can repeat so consistently that my future has no choice but to change? Start there, stick with it, and eventually you won't just be doing discipline, you will be living it. Your transformation isn't a destination you reach, it's the result of the person you decide to be every single morning, one choice at a time. It's time to stop dreaming and start building. Your life is waiting for you to take the lead.